Hello teachers, my name is Andrew Mercer and I'm an online music teacher here in Newfoundland and Labrador. I want to speak to you today a little bit about keeping attendance in online classes. Now it's keeping attendance, but it's also a strategy for keeping engagement in your classes as well. So first of all, attendance is pretty basic. It's plan book or register and pencil and paper, keep track of the students. You're certainly welcome to do it that way if you want to. But you may find that during an online class, you'll be juggling cats. You may find there's all kinds of things coming at you, and you may get distracted. You may forget to get a name down, or forget to do attendance entirely. Who knows? There's a lot of things. Or maybe a student may leave because of a technical problem, or come late because of a technical problem. It's nice to be able to keep track of that stuff. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about two things. Google Meet is the first one, because in Canada here, Google Meet is the platform that most schools are using for online lessons. And we're going to need a timer, like an egg timer. Well, not really an egg timer. You don't want something that's going to make noise, but you want a timer. So you can use your phone for that. Okay, first of all, Google Meet allows us to record. So if you click the record button in Google Meet, it will record the video and the audio, like we're seeing here. But it will also record a text document of all the chat that happens during a lesson. So all the stuff the students type in, all the stuff you type in, it's time-stamped and is put into a big long text document. Okay, and that's saved in the same folder as your audio and video recording. And that folder is in your Google Drive. It's called Meet Recordings. And that's where you find it. So when you start your lesson, for attendance, what I do is I get my students into the habit of when they arrive, they text something to me. That might be, hello sir, how are you today? Or hello everybody, or whatever. But the idea is that as soon as they arrive, they get into the habit of texting something at the very beginning, some kind of greeting. And at the end of the class, I always tell the students, don't go away without saying goodbye. So they all say, see you later, sir, have a nice day, whatever, at the end of the class before they log out. So what that does is it gives me a piece of text at the beginning and a piece of text at the end to show that the students are there at the beginning and they're there at the end. Okay, very important. Now I'm going to get to that more in a little bit. Next, your timer. We're going to use the timer because throughout the class we want to make sure students stay with us. Some of you may choose not to use video with students, and I have another video on that, but you may choose not to have video. So if a student walks away from the computer, you don't even know. You have no way of knowing. So you set your timer for a time period, like maybe 5 minutes. Then every 5 minutes, ask the entire class a question, a generic question that everybody can answer. Let's say, for example, if you're talking about, rock and roll music, what's your favorite band? Or tell me one of your favorite bands. And then every student would have to write it in. And don't ask a question like, what's the capital of Ontario? Because some people may not know it. But if you ask general questions that anybody can answer, then we'll get answers from everybody. Okay, so that will also go into the time-stamped text document. That will be in your Meet recording folder. So what that's going to do is two things. For your attendance purposes, you'll be able to see if a student is there. Like at the beginning of the class, maybe Johnny wasn't there because he was having trouble logging in. But halfway through the class, he showed up. So then halfway through the class, he'll start texting in. Also, it keeps the students engaged. You're asking questions, so they know I got to respond. So they're going to stay with you. They're not going to wander off or get on the phone or do something else. They're always listening. So if a question comes up, every 5 minutes they're asked to engage over and over through the whole period. So if you set it for 5 minutes, every 5 minutes there's an engagement point where they have to engage. Now, on that document, you will have all of that engagement will be shown on that document. When you have a parent-teacher visitation, you're meeting with the parent, meeting with the guardian, then you can, if they have some questions about their child's engagement, you have a document that shows that they weren't really engaged the whole time, or they were, or whatever. If you need to use that. Also, for your attendance, you can open that document up, and you can very easily do a search with in the document, like a Command F or Control F. That's a find. Type in John Smith, and it'll show you all the entries for John Smith, and you can see, oh yeah, John was here the whole time. Check. And you can say Sally Smith. Oh, Sally was there the whole time. Check. And you do a search for Bob Brown. No. He wasn't there the whole time, so Bob wasn't there for that period. You see, so you can use that text document as your for your attendance. So there you go. Now, there may be other ways to keep attendance. I know that there are some extensions and plugins that can be used that takes attendance, and sure thing, that will probably work fine as well. I like to do it this way because it gives me a bit more control. It gives me an artifact that I have that's it. It's right there for me to keep, and I can get my attendance off of it. And it's a great little tool to keep students engaged. So there you go. That works for me. Now, if you have any other ideas, please put it in the comments here. If you disagree with what I'm doing or you have some concerns, then please let me know as well. If you have any ideas or things you'd like for me to talk about, I'd love to hear that as well. But thank you for listening, and you have a wonderful time teaching online.